Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? It's your boy Devo, so motivational, back with another day trading spy recap. Real quick, I want to say thank you guys all for all the likes, the comments, the subscribes. We're building our account. We're up to 64 subscribers. We're building pretty much every single day. The views are running up, and I appreciate every single one of y'all who are sticking with me through the journey. Remember, this is a journey. A lot of ebbs and flows, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of highs and then lows, right? It's basically kind of like the market, right? You literally you're high, and then you get a pullback of emotions, and then you get another high of emotions, and you get a change of character where you're just feeling beat down, and then you get another change of character. And I know it's a weird way to put your emotions, but that's just showing the market in me, right? But that's literally like how it is, okay? And so again, I just appreciate every single one of y'all who with me on the journey, okay? And so without further ado, let's get straight into it, okay? I didn't have a trade today. I'm gonna go deep into that as well as my mistakes, what I'm feeling on right now, like kind of what I'm feeling, and I'm gonna go into that a little later after I go into all this data and stuff, okay? So we have a big data day. We have a very big data day today. We have a big data day tomorrow, which can really move the market. I'm favoring a down move tomorrow, and I'll get further into that once I get through all this data. But so these 2 days are like very big days because of all the news we had come out today, as well as the data we had come out today. Okay, so let's just get straight into it. So today, what data did we have come out? Well, we had jobless claims, 4 week average, and initial jobless claims. Balance of trade was better than expected. Exports better than expected or better than previous. Imports not as good as previous. Initial jobless claims actually are higher than expected, so that's not that good. Good for interest rates, but we still have inflation, right? And so we still have some inflation. We have jobs coming, jobless claims going up. Continuing jobless claims are higher than. Oh no, continuing jobless claims are lower than expected, but initial jobless claims are higher than expected. So a little bit mixed, but not such good data. Continuing jobless claims again, lower than expected, so that's pretty good. Jobless claims 4 week average higher than the previous, so that's not real good. Non-farm productivity previous was 1.7, and we're at negative 1.5, so that's not very good. And I'll show y'all more into that in a little bit, okay? So non-farm productivity is not very good because that is negative 1.5, worse than the consensus, and that is not very good. Unit labor cost is higher than expected as well, so I don't think that is very good as well. More into the day, we have 4 week bill auctions, 8 week bill auctions. With our bonds, I'm pretty sure that is. Let's go into and read it. Yeah, 4 week bill yield was 4.27%, according to over-the-counter interbank high yield closes government bond maturity historically reached an all-time high. Okay, so yeah, it's just bond yields and stuff. So that's the actual is 4.1, previous 4.2. 8 week bill auction is the same as previous, so I don't think that's really that good. But let's just go into the data we have coming out tomorrow, which is very important. So tomorrow we're going to have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rates, average hourly earnings month on month and year after year, participation rate, average weekly hours, government payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, non-farm payrolls, private, U6 unemployment rate, no, not that. Consumer credit change, and that is very important. Why is non-farm payrolls very important? So non-farm payroll data is very important because it provides a monthly snapshot of job growth and losses in the U.S. economy, excluding the farming sector. So job gains and losses are seen as indicators of the economy's strength or weakness. Strong job growth can suggest a robust economy, while job losses may indicate economic slowdown. That's why I said, I'm sorry. That's why I said today's non-farm productivity um, QQQ final at negative 1.5 is not very good because that is showing a slowing economy, right? And that's why tomorrow, when we have non-farm payrolls, that is going to be very important to see if the economy is slowing down or if it's still steady, right? And that's just like GDP, how GDP measures our economic growth quarter after quarter. This is basically kind of like connected to the GDP, which is the non-farm payroll. So all in all, it just shows if our economy is slowing down or if it's steady or if it's still picking up. And so that is very important data for the market and for just the economy as a whole. Okay, what other news did we have today? So real quick, today we had a bunch of volatility. So, and this is where I was kind of very frustrated today. Why? Because look, when we opened, I already seen all these equal lows. I already felt like we were gonna take them out. But when the market opened, it just straight tanked. Literally straight tanked. There's literally no pullback in this. You have this one pullback right here, yeah, but literally it was just tanking from 597. So pre-markets, it was running up, cause pre-markets, I mean, the market finished at this 596. And actually, pre-markets at first it was down to like 595, and then it started rising to 596. Pre-markets, and as we see, when we opened up at this 596.56. We dropped down, got bought back up, and got bought all the way up to the 597, just to use that as resistance to get knocked down and break these lows. Right when we broke those lows, I wasn't looking for shorts. I was like, okay, we swept out them lows. Now we have these equal highs. And sure enough, I even posted on my Instagram. Please, guys, if you do not follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram because I'm active on there as well. And I show you kind of an insight of what I'm looking for into my trades. I literally said that these equal highs are they're destined to get taken. I said I didn't have an entry, but these equal highs are destined to get taken. And clear as day, they got taken. Why didn't I take the move on the way up? Well, so when we pumped up from this, right, breaking these like last lower highs, I was like, okay, that's a good change of character. We pumped up, we got bought back down. I was like, okay, this could be the pullback, but we didn't have no wick on this candle, right? And then the next candle got wicked all the way down, right? You see this wick? This was a huge 1 minute candle, guy. It was like huge. It got bought, it got sold down, then got bought back up and got bought up. And then this next candle was given a huge whipsaw, got sold all the way down, they got bought all the way up and sold down. So I was like, oh my goodness, so much whipsaw in that right there. So it was like there was no comfortability in any of this right here. This next candle got bought down a little bit, got sold down a little bit, got bought all. Let me delete this. Let me delete these. Sorry about that. Got sold down a little bit, got bought all the way back up, and got wigged down. So there was no comfortability in any of this right here, right? Because they were just stomping people out, just stomped out. You see what I'm saying? Because all these huge wicks, it hits your stop loss. If you're like me and you want to wait for that candle to close, in the 1 minute, that candle will probably close. Like, okay, and this one, say if your stop loss was down here, it didn't stop you out, but it scared the heck out of you, right? It stopped me from jumping in the trade. I'm pretty sure some other people as well, right? Got bought all the way up. This was a nice wick right here, right? Got bought all the way up. You see these wicks right here? Broke down right here. And this would have been a good entry right here to get bought up. But as you see, there was so much big wicks, so much big volatility in these 5 minute candles, which we were looking for. So there was like no fair value gaps in these 5 minute candles. There was no fair value gaps. So it was not giving no good entry. If you're just trading the 1 minute, it looks like you could have got somewhat of a good entry, right? But remember, we want to have the 5 minute. We want to go from big time frame to small time frame. So that's why there was like no good entry. So then when we started getting bought up right here with regular price action, finally, I was like, okay, it's going to break through breaking these breaking these equal highs, right? And when we got this pullback right here, I scaled down to my 1 minute and I wanted a deeper pullback. I was even telling my dad and he was asking me about it. I was like, well, it's already pumping up. I missed this entry right here because I was looking at this entry right here. When we started getting bought up right here, I was looking at an entry right here, but I was just so unsure. And I'm going to get more into that, why I was immobilized by fear. I'm going to get more into that, which I need to get out of. And I'm reading this book right here that's really helping me because it's a really good book. It kind of talks about other traders, not kind of, it talks about a bunch of other successful traders real quick. Let me see if you guys can see it. Okay. It talks about a bunch of successful traders and things that they went through and like blowing their accounts over and over, making mistakes, and how they broke out of that, how they used discipline. And it really just, it's a really good book. Like, please, guys, if you haven't read it, it is a really good book on trading because it talks about, I believe it's 25 of like the most successful traders in the world talking about their experiences as traders, right? So it's a really good book, and it really helps you with your mental on things you're going through. It's kind of like if you're talking to another really successful trader about what you're going through. It's a really good book, okay? And so I'm trying to work out of that, but I was immobilized by fear, and we started to get ball back up. And I was telling my dad that I didn't get in right here. I couldn't pull the trigger, and we got back up. We were right around here when I was talking to my dad. I was like, if he gives us a pullback, I could potentially get in, right? And ride it up to break these all-time highs, right? I mean, not. I keep saying all-time highs, equal highs. Jesus Christ, making me mad that I keep saying that. Okay, so then what was I looking at? Why didn't I still get in that trade if we had that pullback? So on this fair value gap right here, we had, right? We broke down and touched the fair value gap, right? But I wanted this right here to get touched. I wanted this one right here to get touched. Why? Because it was a deeper one, right? And honestly, there was a little, yeah, this one is not really a gap, but this one I wanted to get filled. Why? So I can have a bigger, and it was just me being a little too greedy, but I wanted a bigger risk to reward because if I had it like that, and if I had my entry all the way up here, my equal highs were like right here, right? Excuse me, my good people. My equal highs was that like right here, right? And so that is what a zero point 0.8 risk to reward. That's why I wasn't very confident in that trade. And that's why I wanted to give a little bit more of a pullback if we got it around right here so I can get like 1.5, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted a better risk to reward, and sure enough, it came down and it wicked and it ended up taking off. And so that was frustrating. It was frustrating the first one because there was no like pullbacks or anything to write it down and take these equal lows, which I knew we were going to take, right? Then what was frustrating, well, if you look on the 1 minute, that downturn, look, we were just tanking, boom, boom, boom. See, there's no like fair value gap. I'm just gonna show you real quick on the downside. When we're breaking down, we did have this pullback, but there's no 5 minute fair value gaps to get filled. Then when you go to 1 minute, there's no 1 minute fair value gaps to get filled. When you break through, you finally wick them through, and then you get this pullback right here. But I was like, okay, we already broke through them equal lows. I was like, okay, we already broke through them equal lows. There's no, I'm not gonna short it, right? I'm not trying to go in for puts because we already took the equal lows. We're all the way down here. Now I'm looking for the equal highs, but we had all this whipsaw back and forth, which made it so tricky and just like uncomfortable to take. But down here, I should have took this one right here. I told you guys I was being a little picky. I wanted a better risk to reward. I wanted to fall a little bit more. And it took off without me, right? And some days it's just gonna do that, and some days you got to be okay with it. I'm gonna tell you guys why I'm like, it's like eating at me, like it's really eating at me, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. Real quick, let me go into the news that we have. That's good news for today, okay? So the good news we had today literally just came out about an hour ago. Trump and President Xi of China discussing some of the intricacies on the trade deal. So Donald Trump said, I just concluded a very good phone call with President Xi of China discussing some of the intricacies of our recently made and agreed to trade deal. The call lasted approximately 1.5 hours. The result in a very positive conclusion for both countries. I'm just going to kind of sum it up because I don't want to read this whole thing. Okay. It says they will be represented by Secretary Scott Bennett, Secretary Howard Lutnick, and United States Representative Ambassador Jameson Greer. He said during the conversation, President Xi invited the First Lady and him to visit China, and he reciprocated, basically invited them to the U.S. As presidents of two great nations, this is something we both look forward to doing. The conversation was focused almost entirely on trade, nothing to do with Russia, Ukraine, or Iran. We will inform the media as the scheduling and location of the soon-to-be meeting. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So they agreed to So they agreed to start trade talks again, and they're supposed to be coming to, what is it called? Jesus Christ, man, can't think. They're coming to together to talk about the trade deal at a undisclosed, not undisclosed, at a location that they haven't figured out yet. So more information on that should be coming, but basically they're saying that Trump and Xi are coming together to work on the trade deal again. Okay, Jesus Christ, that was hard to get past. And so that's good news. That just came out. That came out like in the middle of like right here around this 596 when we were getting whipsawed back and forth. That's when that was started like come out, and I think that's when price action started to kind of settle. And then so real quick, I'm gonna talk about this, which happened on June 3rd, my last trading day when I told you guys I lost 52 bucks. Ended up being way more than that. Excuse my good people. And that's when I'm gonna go into how I'm feeling and why I'm like just that's like why I've been a little frustrated with the market. Um, Not really frustrated with the market, frustrated with myself, and like why I'm kind of like just feeling a little beat down. Of course, we're gonna bounce back, and of course we're gonna bounce back. Come back better than ever, but feeling a little beat down, and I'll get into that. Okay, so on June 3rd, there was a glitch that occurred in the New York Stock Exchange, which affected trading in some securities. A technical issue involving the industry-wide price bands published by Consolidated Trade Association and whatever. The glitch caused abnormal price data to be displayed, leading to inaccurate prices and trading halts for up to 40 symbols listed on NICE New York Stock Exchange. That's what NICE means, on New York Stock Exchange group exchanges. So basically, how June 3rd, when was that? Tuesday, I told you guys I lost 52 bucks, right? I closed out my trades, minus 52 bucks in my history on Robinhood. It said minus $52. When I got to work, I was a little ticked off because I lost 52 bucks. And you're thinking, Devin, 52 bucks is not much. And I know 52 bucks is not much, but I was like kind of upset that I lost that money when I shouldn't even have traded. And what did I do? I revenge traded. And now you're saying, oh my goodness, Devin. Yep, I know. I revenge traded. I was at work. I'm a driver at work, right? I'm a courier. And so at work, I'm driving, and I decided to look at my trading view. I seen price was coming down. I seen a little bit of a pullback. I bought puts. I believe I bought 3 puts to the downside, trying to recover my loss. And what did it do? Stop me out minus over $150. So I lost $150 right there. Now I'm down what I thought was 200 bucks on the day. So now I'm feeling very beat. It was dumb of me to even do that because I'm not even in the right space to be trading. For one, I'm driving, so I'm not even fully able to just stare at the charts, right, and really analyze what's going on. So I'm kind of just opening the chart, seeing red candles, gambling, for one. For two, it was late in the day, about 1 o'clock, so why am I even trading to begin with? For three, why am I trading? Again, just why am I trading at that time? It's 1 o'clock, I'm driving. I wasn't even looking at the markets after I finished the video for you guys. I wasn't looking at the markets because I was at work. I'm driving. I decided to pull it up. Like, why? What am I doing? Like, thinking back is like, what are you even doing? For another one, Devin, you lost 52 bucks. Okay, just take the loss. You know what I'm saying? Another day is gonna come. Last week, you made 560 bucks on 2 really, really good trades that you got in at the T that you like worked so hard for. You know what I'm saying? And I was so hyped for. Okay, you lost 52 bucks. You took a trade that you probably shouldn't have taken. Just, okay, eat that up and just say, all right, move on to the next day with a clear mind. But I didn't do that. Revenge traded, lost 150 bucks, right? So I thought I was down 200 bucks on day. So I was already mad. I was mad at work. Not like mad, you know what I'm saying? Not like I was just going around in a bad mood, but like in my head, you know what I'm saying? I always try to keep a good positive mood. But in my head, I'm beating myself up over it, right? So even when I'm frustrated, I'm just a good mood guy, right? So I'm not going to be moving around like, oh, I hate you, being mean to everybody. No, but in my head, I'm beating myself up. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, in my head, I feel down about myself because I'm down, and I'm gonna get more because I'm down over $400 on the week, and I'm gonna get more into Devin. I thought you were down only 200. I'm gonna get more into that real quick. So, so in my head right now, I'm still just beating myself up, and that's why I said I was immobilized by fear. I didn't want to lose no more money on the week, and that is messing me up. So that's also in my head now that I missed this really good trade that I could have had. In my head, like I could have made back some of my loss, cut down my loss on the week, and now I missed that easy trade because this is literally textbook easy trade, equal highs, easy pullback. Like this is like textbook easiest trade you could ever take, right? And so I beat myself over that. I beat myself over the week, and so it's just weighing on my mental, right? And so I thought I was down $200 on the week, right? And so then I look at my history. I mean, later on in the day, I get a notification saying that my two contracts that I made previous in the day that I should have lost $52 on the day, that they were closed at 2:50 p.m. for minus over $200. Sorry, good people. That later on in the day at 2:50 p.m., my contracts were just now closed minus over $200. And so and I'm like, what is going on? So I'm calling my broker. I'm trying to contact my broker. I'm like, bro, I've been closed my trades. I had the notification saying that my trades were closed because I got in the trade at 10:14. I closed them at 10:24. So I've been closed out my trades, but then I got another notification at 2:50 p.m. saying that my trade's closed. Well, at about like a day later, when I finally got to the bottom of it, they said that the New York Stock Exchange had a glitch and that they halted trades and that whatever trades were put in and the orders you try to fill, they did not get filled at that time. And on my Robinhood, it showed that there was no trades open. But then just at 2:50 p.m., they closed, right? And so whatever, all of that happened. And so I'm down over $200 from that. I messed myself up by being down over $150. Over $150 on the revenge trade, and overall I'm down over $400, right? And so that's been beating me up. That's been like, I just wanted to be completely transparent with you guys, and I wasn't even gonna talk about the revenge trade, but I have to. You know what I'm saying? That is what I stand for, being transparent with you guys. And so with a week that was supposed to be really good trading week, of course, it's still a good week. Everything could be worse, so we're still very grateful. But a week that could have been very good trading week, which we could have carried over. Not even because this week wasn't really like a good trading week, but a week where we could have lost minimal, or could have had a good one trade if we didn't take that trade on Tuesday, which we shouldn't even have taken. We could have finished green on the week again and just carried over. But now we lost everything that we made last week and then some. And so now we're just feeling behind the eight ball, feeling beat up. And those things, it's more than just losing money because that messes with your confidence, right? Just like how I couldn't take this trade right here because my confidence was low. And so those things affect future trades. That's why you want to get the right habits that can carry you long term in the game. Because if you have bad habits, like you have trend chasing habits, revenge trade habits, those habits stay with you. Habits are things that are going to keep occurring, right? So that's why you don't even want to make those mistakes, because those mistakes become habits, right? And so that's why I got to put rules in my place where I'm not going to ever trade when I'm at work, when I'm not in the right headspace, not in the right space at all, like with my laptop and sitting down and actually worrying about trading. I'm not ever going to do that. I'm not revenge trading, not trend chasing. And so those are just little things I just wanted to come on and kind of, I showed you guys all the data and stuff today, but I just wanted to be completely transparent with you guys and show you guys and tell you guys like what I was feeling, and how I was feeling like very beat down because of those things and losing over $400 in 1 week, literally in one day on a Tuesday, literally minus $400. And that really beat me down because I made $560 last week, and I made $330 profit. But in total, I made 560, but I had two losing trades, and so in total, I made 330. Then this week, I already lost 400, over 400 bucks. So that's why I was just feeling very beat down and messed with my confidence. As you can see, I couldn't take the trade today, even though I knew exactly what was gonna happen. On this down one, I was a little frustrated because I didn't have a good entry at all. Not that I didn't feel a good entry, I didn't have a good entry at all on the down move, which is why I was frustrated. But on the uptrend, I was doing all this whipsaw. Okay, all right, whatever. I didn't trade right there. But whenever we started to have normal price action and we had the pullback, I'm mad that I didn't get in right there because I already knew it was going to take out those equal highs. Like, that was clear as day. And so that's the one that's, excuse my people, that I'm mad about, right? But, again, we're going to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? It's not how hard you can, it's not about, sorry, I was trying to think of a good phrase, but it's how hard you can get hit and bounce back, right? And so that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna bounce back. We're beat up. We're beat up mentally, emotionally. Honestly, like, that takes a toll on your emotions. Losing that much money when you were just so high on emotion, when you just felt so good with those two really good trades, over 100% on our contracts, over 100%, getting those things to a T, and you're just feeling so good, and then for you to get beat down, like, the big losses hurt way more than the enjoyment of those big wins. You see what I'm saying? So the highs of those big wins, and then the lows of those big losses weigh out those highs, right? And so it's really just a beat down moment. We're gonna be looking tomorrow, see if we can trade, but if we don't have a good setup, then we just won't have a trade, and it will be minus over 400 bucks on the day. 400 bucks on the week, right? I wanted to come here and be transparent. And the New York Stock Exchange, that part isn't my fault, right? I mean, that happened to everybody, not just including me. Everybody that traded between, I believe it was 11:11 and then like 11:28 Eastern time, so 10:11 to 10:28 Eastern time or something like that. There was like a glitch in the New York Stock Exchange, right? And so anybody that traded during that time had issues and lost money, right? Lost a lot of money. And so, but at the same time, I take accountability about that because I told you guys I shouldn't have taken that trade where it was minus $52. I shouldn't even have taken that trade, right? And so that's why I take ownership of that. And of course, my revenge trade, that's just number one rule that I already know and that I shouldn't break, right? And so that was just, honestly, that was stupid of me. That was very stupid of me, right? So again, we're gonna have to bounce back, right? There's nothing you can do but just study, back test, realize what you did, journal it down, realize where you went wrong, back test, study, and just get back on the horse, right? And it's hard, emotionally it's hard, draining. I love doing this, and so let me say so you guys don't see that whole thing. It's draining. I mean, I'm doing what I love. I love trading. I love being on the markets. I love showing up every day with you guys. But it is still draining when a big loss like that happens, erasing everything you just like worked so hard for the week before, right? So it is draining, but we're gonna bounce back on it, right? And so we're still in a good mood, right? But I just wanted to show you guys, like the background of what I'm feeling and what happened this week, right? And because it's easy to just get on here and just, of course we're always in a good mood, right? Because we're just grateful and thankful for everything, right? Situations could always be worse, but I just want to show you guys the background of trading and feelings and stuff like that, because everything is not so pretty and happy all the time, right? This is a journey from being unprofitable to profitable. So we made mistakes like that, but we know to be profitable, you can't make mistakes like that. We cannot make mistakes like that if we want to become a profitable trader, because discipline is what your skills and your strategy is going to make you the money, but that discipline is going to keep that money, right? And so without discipline, you're never going to be a profitable trader because you won't be able to keep money. Just like what I did. I wasn't able to keep money because I wasn't able to be disciplined, right? And so that's just on me. I know that, and so I'm gonna get better, and we're gonna be back on the horse riding high again. Okay, so there's bigger wins than just that $560. There's bigger wins than that coming. There's bigger wins than these $480 loss. There's bigger stuff that's on the way. Okay, major setback. Not even a major setback, minor setback for a major comeback. All right, I love every single one of y'all with me on the journey. That's pretty much it. On the data, I showed you guys the news that we have for Trump. I showed you guys the data, why that data is so important, the non-farm payroll, and then the data we have coming out tomorrow, which is going to move the market. Excuse me. Tomorrow, I am favoring a downside, but we never know. We'll see what's going on. Why do I favor downside? We are so far up. We're at all time highs. We're at all time highs. Basically, all time highs like 613. We're at 600 basically, and everything's still not worked out. We're getting mixed signals with the employment. The Fed is not seeing the cut rates. So I think we could have another downturn, but again, I'm not completely sure, right? But I am favoring another downturn, at least a pullback into this gap, or just another opportunity to get in. That is what I'm seeing. Eventually, I feel like we will get another opportunity. Eventually, when I say eventually, I mean like in a month or a couple weeks. You never know, maybe this month. Another turn to get good buying opportunities, right? I'm not sure if we'll get that because as we see, we had this straight V-shaped recovery. But I am favoring that we'll get some type of news or some type of data that will give us another downturn to give us buying opportunities. That's what I'm hoping for because I do want to employ more capital in these markets because we weren't able to get everything in that we wanted, right? So that's pretty much it. We'll be back on tomorrow to provide you guys with the data, provide you guys with the markets, what we're seeing in the market, show you guys the news that's coming out, and hopefully we have a banger of a winter trade to end the week and either make that whole $400 loss back, or at least cut it shorter than that, right? So we're showing up. We're going to be showing up ready to go. That is pretty much it. I love every single one of y'all sticking with me the journey, all right? Remember, guys, stay persistent, passionate. Make sure y'all get paid, all right? Peace.